My dear friends, this is our second class on unit of logic. 4 or 5 classes may be needed to make clear the unit of logic, the relation between science and philosophy, and the existential import of logic in each and every aspect of human life. The existential import of logic in each particular subject and the standard or unit of logic. Today, I shall try to share with you the relation between science and philosophy and the difference between science and technology, and I shall try to place philosophy in its right place. I shall try to place science in its right place. If we are able to place philosophy and science in their right places, then we will be able to establish a method. That method is called Aristotle's dictum de omni et nihilo. সেটাই হলো লজিক্যাল মেথড. If we are able to establish the relation between science and philosophy, if we are able to place philosophy in its right place, if we are able to place science in its right place, then we will be able to establish a proper philosophical method, a proper logical method, a proper scientific method, on the basis of which we will be able to recognize and confirm unerring knowledge. Now, let us try to understand right place of philosophy and right place of science, as well as relation between philosophy and science and difference between science and technology. In this regard, French moralist Joseph Choudhury, it is the quote of Joseph Choudhury, he had tried to establish a relation between philosophy and science, and he had also tried to make the difference between science and technology. So this quote is verifiable as well as justifiable quote. This quote I have considered as the philosophy. Now our philosophy is the quote of French moralist Joseph Choudhury. He had established the relation as well as difference between science and philosophy and the difference between science and technology, saying that what is true by lamplight, what is true by lamplight is not always true by sunlight. Now we try to understand lamplight and sunlight. My dear friends, you are familiar with the terms lamplight and light, sunlight. আশা করি এখানে যারা ভিডিও দেখছো, যারা এই ক্লাসটা দেখছো, সবের এই দুটো শব্দের সাথে পরিচয় আছে, lamplight and sunlight. Now first of all, we try to place lamplight and sunlight in their proper place. If we are able to place lamplight and sunlight in their proper places, then we will be able to understand the basic difference between science and technology. My dear friends, mechanism is of two kinds. One is called natural mechanism and one is called man-made mechanism. Mechanism is of two kinds, natural mechanism and man-made mechanism. Natural mechanism is called science and man-made mechanism is called technology. এই জিনিসটা একদম সহজ বোঝা। আমাদের যেটা মিনিস্ট্রি, একটা মিনিস্ট্রির নাম আছে সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি, মিনিস্ট্রি অফ সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি। ওই নাম থেকে বোঝা যায় সায়েন্স এক জিনিস, টেকনোলজি আরেক জিনিস। মিনিস্ট্রি of Science and Technology denotes both science and technology. Now, my dear friends, if you are able to place lamplight in its right place and sunlight in its right place, then you will be able to understand the basic difference between science and technology for the first time in your life, removing all doubts and from all perspectives and disciplines. So let us try to place lamplight. Where will you place lamplight? If you place lamplight in natural mechanism, then it will manifest that lamplight is called science. If you place lamplight in man-made mechanism, then it will manifest that lamplight is called technology. If you place sunlight in man-made mechanism, then it will manifest that sunlight is called technology. If you place sunlight in natural mechanism, then it will prove, removing all doubts, that sunlight is called science. So it is up to you. Try to place lamplight in its right place and sunlight in its right place. If you are able to place these two terms in their right places, then you will be able to understand what is true by lamplight is not always true by sunlight. That is the justifiable as well as verifiable quote of Joseph Choudhury. So it is up to you. I am placing lamplight as in the place of man-made mechanism, that is technology. Lamplight. So lamplight is called technology. Sunlight is a natural mechanism, so sunlight is called science. Sunlight is called science. Natural man-made mechanism such as natural magnetism, alteration of day and night in a day, Sirius binary system, Mercurian system, Uranian system, solar system, these are called sciences. These are called sciences because these are natural mechanisms. You are observing this video. If you consider that this video is a natural mechanism, then this video is science. If this video is not a natural mechanism, it is a man-made mechanism, then this video is called technology. Commonly, we misunderstood technology. Generally, we consider technology as a science. Technology is not science. Man-made mechanism is called technology. So, there may be self-contradiction regarding technology. What is true by lamplight is not always true by sunlight. That means there may be contradiction regarding technology, but there is no scope of contradiction regarding science. Science is true. Suppose alteration of day and night. Alteration of day and night. When there is day in India, there is night in America. When there is day in America, there is night in India. That alteration of day and night is called science. There is no contradiction regarding science. If a contradiction arises regarding science, then our knowledge will be vitiated by all established phrases, particularly subjective self-contradiction and plurality of causes. So, there is a difference between science and technology. Now it is clear, natural mechanism is called science and man-made mechanism is called technology. Now the question is, which one is prior to the other? কি মনে হয় প্রথমে আমরা ল্যাম্পলাইট তৈরি করেছি, তারপরে সংসারে সানলাইট এসেছে, না প্রথমে সানলাইট তারপরে ল্যাম্প লাইট? আনসারটা নিজেই ক্লিয়ার করে নেবে। সংসারে আমরা যখন এসেছি, আমরা এসেই সংসারে সানলাইট পেয়েছি। তো সানলাইটটা আমরা সংসারে আসার আগে, তো যেটা আমরা আসার আগে সেটাকে বলে এ প্রায়োরি নলেজ। সো সায়েন্স ইজ এ প্রায়োরি অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি ইজ এ পোস্টেরিয়রি। টেকনোলজিটা আমরা সংসারে এসে আমরা নিজেরা ক্রিয়েট করেছি, এটা মানুষের তৈরি। তো এটা টেকনোলজিকে বলা হয়, ল্যাম্প লাইটকে বলা হয় এ প্রায়োরি অ্যান্ড সায়েন্সকে বলা হয়, টেকনোলজিকে বলা হয় এ পোস্টেরিয়রি অ্যান্ড সায়েন্সকে বলা হয় এ প্রায়োরি। সো উই আর টু conclude that science is prior to technology. This is the conclusion of the first part of this class, that science is prior to technology. Natural mechanism is prior to man-made mechanism. We can create nothing out of nothing. Ex nihilo nihil fit. Nothing comes out of nothing. We can create means we can use technology. We can create something on the basis of technology out of something. But we cannot create something out of nothing. So science is prior to technology. This manifested nature, this equal and opposite manifested nature is the textbook of science. It is the textbook of Newton's laws, Newton's law of gravitation. It is the textbook of Newton's third law, equal and opposite. It is the textbook of Newton's first law, uniform motion, principle of the uniformity of nature, law of conservation, law of energy. It is the textbook of Newton's second law, force equal to mass into acceleration. It is the textbook of Einstein's binary pulsar. It is the textbook of morning show and evening show of the sister planet Venus. It is the textbook of Uranian system, periodic motion of the planet Uranus of each zone. It is the textbook of Sirius A, white dwarf companion Sirius B. It is the textbook of the substratum of physics and the substratum of astronomy and astrophysics. So this manifested nature is the textbook of open, one, common, comprehensive, clear and distinct textbook of Newton's laws and Einstein's sciences. So this manifested nature is called science. This manifested nature is prior to our technology. So science is prior to technology. Now, if we are able to understand that what is true by lamplight is not always true, this statement is true, then it is justifiable. That justifiable knowledge is called philosophy, and verifiable knowledge is called science. In next part, we shall try to place philosophy and science in their right places. Knowledge may be tautologous, contingent or contradictory. We discussed in the previous class about tautologous and self-contradictory knowledge. Our purpose is to establish a relation between philosophy and science on the basis of logic. If we are able to establish the relation between justifiable valid knowledge, which is called formal ground, and verifiable certain knowledge, which is called material ground, if we are able to establish relation between formal ground and material ground on the basis of logic, then we will be able to establish the proper method of education, proper method of honoring knowledge. Now, let us try to place philosophy and science in their right places. Here is philosophy. Philosophy is called universal major premise. In logic, we called it universal major premise. In Indian philosophy, it is called Vyapti. The same thing is called Vyapti. The same philosophy or universal major premise is called unalterable law of nature, principle of the uniformity of nature and law of causation. এই সংসার দুইটা নিয়মে চলে, তার একটা হলো প্রিন্সিপাল অফ দ্য ইউনিফর্মিটি অফ নেচার, আর একটা হলো ল অফ কজেশন। এই সেই দুইটা নিয়মকে যদি আমরা দেখি, তো সেই দুইটা নিয়মই হলো নিউটনস লস। নিউটনের যা নিয়ম তা হলো ফিলোসফি। সেগুলো হলো নেসেসারি রিলেশন বিটুইন ইকুয়াল অ্যান্ড অপোজিট। আমি যদি লেখাপড়া নাও জানি, গ্রামের অনেক মানুষ যারা এখনো লেখাপড়া জানে না, কিন্তু তারা এটা জানে জন্মিলে মরিতে হবে। দ্যাট necessary relation between birth and death. Birth is the one side of a river and death is the opposite side of the river. Now, there is a necessary relation between birth and death. That necessary relation is called philosophy. That necessary relation is called universal major premise. That is called Torah. That is, Kant has recognized universal major premise as synthetic a priori judgments. So we are to place synthetic a priori judgments, universal major premise or philosophy first. If we are able to place here philosophy, and second one is called affirmative minor premise. Mark of manifest truth, Indian logic, it is called Poksho Dharmata. In science, it is called observation of particular instances such as Einstein's binary pulsar. It is called engine. It is called crucial instances, clear proofs, eye-opening evidences, or unerring witnesses. Recently, আমরা একটা শব্দের সাথে পরিচিত আছি, পজিটিভ কেস, করোনা পজিটিভ কেস। That positive case is the minor premise of Aristotle's dictum de omni et nolo. That positive case is the minor premise. Now, if there is a necessary relation, must be relation between corona and death. যদি করোনা আর মৃত্যুর মধ্যে একটা এমনভাবে রিলেশন, যেমন নিউটনের ল থার্ড ল ইকুয়াল এন্ড অপোজিট, ওই রকম যদি একটা রিলেশন থাকে, তো পজিটিভ কেস মানে ডেড বডি। কিন্তু আমরা দেখা যায় অনেকের পজিটিভ কেস তারপরে সুস্থ হওয়ার, তো সেটা প্রমাণ করে যে করোনা এবং মৃত্যুর মধ্যে কোনো মাস্ট বি রিলেশন নেই, নেসেসারি রিলেশন নেই। That positive case is called science. We are to place here positive cases, we are to place here necessary relation, then we will be able to deduce unerring knowledge. Unerring knowledge on the basis of logic, we can deduce conclusion, unerring knowledge, self-evident truth, verifiable certain knowledge, and justifiable valid knowledge, vidya or wisdom. Let us place here a proposition: man is mortal, I am a man, therefore I am mortal. Place here, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. This hill has smoke, therefore this hill has fire. So, on the basis of philosophy and science and proper utilization of logic, we can deduce, we can recognize and confirm, we can share unerring knowledge, self-evident truth, verifiable certain knowledge, and justifiable valid knowledge, vidya or wisdom. This is the proper method. Next class, I shall try to discuss about unit or standard of logic, which is called proposition. Thank you.